What's going on, everyone? So we keep getting new information and updates in regards to the Kawhi Leonard and the Los Angeles Clippers situation. And look, that's been talked about, constantly talked about. There'll be a lot of stuff to talk about. So I don't want to dive into the details. I've already made a couple videos on updates. I know we're still getting more and more and more, but what I want to talk about is I see a lot of conversation narrative about the Clippers. The Clippers need to be punished. Kawhi Leonard needs to, have his contract voided, right? Like all these things. And look, I agree. If they did and they got caught, right? Because you're starting to see Jalen Brunson may end up getting investigated. Like to think that the Clippers, assuming, again, it's all alleged, we don't know for certain. It's very likely that it is just like, hey, they got scammed and conned and, they just kind of fell for the tricks and now they're the ones holding the bag looking foolish, right? But to think that, backdoor deals and little hey, hint, hint, wink, wink type things aren't done behind the scenes, I think would be a little silly, right? I think it's a lot more common than people think, to varying degrees and whatnot. But nonetheless, right, you have the attention on the Clippers because they're the ones that did it. But to me, I don't see people talking about like Kawhi Leonard outside of hey, his contract needs to be voided with the Clippers. Okay. So then he's just going to go sign elsewhere and sign with a different team and get a new contract. Yeah, he might get a vet minimum for a year, but there's always that team that would probably pay him, right? The question is how much can you punish the Clippers to where it's really going to bother them and affect them? The only way to really do that is to hurt their chances of winning. Basically sabotage any chance they have of winning for the foreseeable future, especially for a guy like Steve Ballmer who really wants to win. Right? He wants that more than he has the money, he has everything. He wants to win. And you see him doing whatever it takes to win. So you punish him in that regard. Okay. Kawhi Leonard, are you going to ban him from the league? Are you going to say hey, you did this, you agreed, you knew the rules as well, right? That's it. You're done. You're cooked. Hey, okay. Maybe Kawhi, it's how much longer does he have with his knees going and all the injuries and stuff like that? How much longer is he going to play anyway? So, how much would that hurt him? If the other side of this that I really don't hear people talking about is Uncle Dennis, right? If I'm the NBA, right? I'm banning Uncle Dennis. All of this kind of stems from Uncle Dennis. All you keep hearing in all these reports and everything is Uncle Dennis, Uncle Dennis, Uncle Dennis. Uncle Dennis getting kickbacks and paid, and he's getting his hands in the pocket and all that other stuff. And look, I've said in the past on Spurs topics and stuff like that, Uncle Dennis, I think Uncle Dennis has hurt Kawhi in a lot of ways. Yes, he's probably made Kawhi a lot of money, but I think Kawhi would have made that money regardless. I think, you got to think there was a point in time where he was a top 3 to 5 player in all of basketball. You can make an argument to this day, healthy Kawhi is still the best get a stop, get a bucket guys in all of basketball, right? The guy is undeniable talent-wise, was winning championships everywhere he went. He was going to make ridiculous money regardless, right? I don't think that changes regardless, right? But Uncle Dennis is the one that's scheming and plotting behind the scenes and, doing all these and having all these crazy demands. And you're getting all these reports about demands that he had for Toronto and the Lakers and the Clippers and all these other places. And it's ridiculous. But it all kind of points to Uncle Dennis. Right. And he's the one that keeps trying to put his hand in the cookie jar and, take as many cookies as possible. And, and yes, I get it. It's ask. It doesn't hurt to ask, hey, we want a private jet. Hey, we want this. Hey, we want that. Right. And that's fine. I don't have a problem with Uncle Dennis being the representative. I don't mind Uncle Dennis asking for things hey, we want ownership. We want this. We want that. Right. Because worst thing they can say is no. My problem isn't that. You don't know unless you ask. Right, so I have no problems with Uncle Dennis asking for certain things and stuff. It's when you start to sabotage and ruin Kawhi Leonard's career and you start to try to go around just the ask and you start trying to go around the nose and you're trying to be shady, sneaky, and secretive and you're just kind of, ruining what is supposed to be preserved in the NBA, right? Uncle Dennis is not just, asking and going all right, fine, hey, where do you want to go, Kawhi? Hey, look, I tried, hey, I got you an extra, 10 mil, I got you an endorsement deal or whatever, right? It's when you start to do all the backdoor stuff and there's talks about not Kawhi getting paid, Uncle Dennis getting paid. Uncle Dennis getting money. Uncle Dennis, they're doing this for Uncle Dennis. They're doing that for Uncle Dennis, right? Like, it's like, who's the NBA player? You're supposed to be the agent. You're supposed to be the representative. You're getting kickbacks off of Kawhi's contracts and all this other stuff, right? Like, you don't hear agents doing these little backdoor deals and all that stuff. Maybe they are. I'm not saying that they are. I wouldn't be shocked if, all these different agents are doing all these backdoor deals and all this stuff, right? But you don't hear about it. You don't know about it. You got caught. So you weren't as clever and as slick and things as you thought, right? Like, that's the difference, right? It's just, if you're the NBA, right, and everything does actually happen, because I don't think you can really do anything unless it happens. I mean, you could tell Kawhi, like, hey, we don't recommend that Uncle Dennis, but if everyone's kind of clean and clear, it's like, hey, the NBA comes out and it's like, hey, we weren't able to find anything, then you can't be like, okay, well, we're going to punish you and you can't have Uncle Dennis around. But if all of this comes out and you punish and fine the Clippers, right, whatever you do to Kawhi, you have to, that's it. Uncle Dennis, he's done. He's banned. Can't have him around. No negotiating, no nothing. If you have a problem with that, Kawhi, well then, good luck to you in your post-NBA career, right? Good luck. We're hoping the best for you. If you're okay with that, get some real representation and continue to move forward, right? Because, again, Uncle Dennis is the one. And if I'm Kawhi, I don't even think I'd want Uncle Dennis around anymore. Be like, hey, dude, we made a lot of money together, did a lot of stuff, right? But I want to continue my career. It's time. Like, we got to distance ourselves right now, especially with all this noise and all this smoke and stuff. I'm not going to have this ruin my career, right? Like, we did some stuff, great job. Appreciate you. I'll throw you some kickbacks or something like that, whatever. But like, hey, I gotta go get somebody else. I gotta do something else because I just can't put myself in this position anymore, or retire, right? Like, that's really what it boils down to. Either do that or retire, because the problem is that, I mean, are people even going to want to deal with Uncle Dennis going forward? Right? Like, there's reports coming out that the Clippers almost like want nothing to do with Kawhi and that they've grown tired of Uncle Dennis and Kawhi and all this other stuff. And now, whether this is true or not, it's painted the image, right? It's pointed the fingers at Uncle Dennis, pointed the fingers at Kawhi Leonard. So whether he sticks around with the Clippers or he ends up trying to go to another team when this Clippers contract is up, right? Or if Clippers buy him out or whatever, right? Like, how many teams are going to be signing up for the Kawhi Leonard experience? There's always a team that, hey, man, we make $1 billion having Kawhi in a jersey. But, like, if those places he wants to go, is that type of thing? Is he going to get the contracts and the money and stuff? You already have the injury issues and the question marks with Kawhi Leonard already. You already have all the noise and the drama that's followed Kawhi every place he's been since the Spurs. And now we also have to deal with Uncle Dennis. We also have to deal with all of his demands and all of it. Like, you're the player. We're catering to you. We're not catering to you and Uncle Dennis, right? I mean, look, teams cater to, like, Tim Duncan, right? Like, the reason he didn't go to Orlando is because Doc Rivers was like, nah, like, no family or anything like that on the plane. And it's like, dude, it's Tim Duncan, right? Like, there's crazy things that happen. Teams bend over backwards to help because they're the star. They're the ones that make all the money, all that stuff, right? Like, I get that. But there's a point where it starts to become an issue and it starts to become a problem. And Uncle Dennis has already became an issue and it became a problem for Kawhi Leonard, the NBA, and whatever team he's on. Again, if this all is just nonsense and it is just all smoke and it's, there is no real fire, then I don't think you can I don't think you can really do anything. I think you have to kind of let things be, but that doesn't mean that other NBA teams are going to want to do business with Uncle Dennis. Doesn't mean that other NBA teams are going to want to do business with Kawhi Leonard. Right? This could have tarnished and ruined any chance of Kawhi Leonard kind of continuing on. I mean, Kawhi Leonard's so good. Like, he's not going to, like, teams will give him like a vet minimum. And so, like, he'll be in the league, probably as long as he wants to, right? But him getting max money and all that stuff is probably done regardless. But now you want money and we have to cater to Uncle Dennis, who just constantly continues to be an issue from San Antonio days to now the Clipper days, right? And then Toronto and all, like, it's just, at what point does it become too much? That's the thing. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. Do you agree with my points? Do you disagree with my points? Kind of mixed in the middle. However you feel either way, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.